Hello, everybody. Hello, my dear friends, my dear clients and astrology lovers. Yes, here is Olga. I am back after a short break. I was absent for a while. I would like to talk to you about the major transit aspects, planetary aspects, for the week of from Monday, June 26th until Sunday, July 2nd. Well, today I will omit actual aspects of the moon because I think that this time the priority is to talk about the major aspects of other planets such as Mercury and Mars, which will be very active this week, the upcoming week, and this will be our priority because the week, my priority at least, the week will not be easy. This is what I want to say first. So very brief, very short overview of the upcoming week. What we have to expect for the next 7 days. Well, first of all, I'd like to remind you that we lived the new moon on Friday 23rd, and as we know, the first week of the lunar month is the time when we have to undertake action, when we have to, start to implement our, plans that we visualize, that we, put down on paper what we want to achieve the next month. So the energy is increasing the first week of the lunar month, me personally. I like it. My favorite is the second week and the full moon. We have to act now, but we have to remember what is going on in terms of transits. So as I said, the Mercury and Mars, which are in Cancer now at this moment, will form many tense, difficult aspects during the next week. There will be a moment where they will be in conjunction, of course, Mars and Mercury. We will have even a T-square the next week. So let's start from the beginning. I covered the period from Monday 26th, but of course I will mention the aspect that was exact on Sunday, June 25th, which is the square Mars in Cancer, Jupiter in Libra. And the next day, Monday 26th, Mars in Cancer in trine to Neptune in Pisces. Two contradictive aspects, contradictive in their nature. One difficult, the second harmonious. What these two aspects offer us? How do they influence us, our emotional and energetic state? These two aspects give the ability to act effectively, with the result, when we can achieve the result, in delicate situations, which require the situations requiring tact and sensitivity or special confidentiality. This is the theme of Neptune, right? Secret, confidential information, sensitivity, delicate situations. Yes. At the same time, this in our attitude, the inconsistency, anger, and rudeness can have consequences in the way, in the process of communication, and especially in the result of our negotiations and very important conversations and dialogues. If somebody provokes us, or if we provoke a conflict, if we are already involved in a conflict, the bet on the primitive force, on the use of primitive force and suppression of the opponent, when you want to put pressure and to make him say what you want to hear, can lead to an escalation of a conflict, of course. This is extremely difficult configuration aspect for any important negotiation and dialogue if we count on a positive result. So we have to avoid fixing important appointments during the difficult aspects of Mars and Mercury. At the same time, thanks to this trine Mars-Neptune, These could be good days, the exact day aspect of the day of the exact aspect plus minus a couple of days. These could be good days for datings, romantic datings, for freeing, in other words, for liberation of a secret or of a unmanifested passion, relationship that we've been keeping for ourselves or that we were not aware of. This will be the great time for revealing of our feelings, mutual, of course, preferably. At the same time, if something disrupts our plans, it means that the universe wants to show us that our will and opportunities are limited sometimes. This is the aspect square Mars and Jupiter, square 90 degrees. So don't be upset if you go for a date and something, there's a minor obstacle, because one aspect doesn't cancel the other. They exist, they coexist together, they have a mixed impact on us. So yeah, this is interesting interpretation of square of trine Mars Neptune. Now imagine that later we will see the opposition Mars Pluto, so which means that we will see a T-square being formed, Mars in opposition to Pluto and Mars in square to Jupiter, which is somewhere in square with the Pluto. These planets are in the orb of a square for sure. So the impact of the T-square will be in force between the beginning of the next week, Monday 26th, until July 5th, even 6th. Any T-square is extremely tense, difficult, and very effective figure. Effective in the sense of its impact, its force. And first of all, it's a difficult figure, configuration of aspects, the T-square. It's difficult for relations, both in politics, in business, in personal life. Imagine that the conjunction Mars-Mercury, because Mercury is coming up now to Mars, to join Mars being the sign of Cancer. This conjunction will be in its orb from June 25th, 26th, plus minus 1 day. This conjunction Mercury-Mars in Cancer will activate a series of events that can develop in the closest future in time with the speed of a snow avalanche. Why? Because most often, Mars is action, Mercury is thinking. So imagine these two planets are in conjunction. It means that we risk to decide to do something. We risk to act the moment when we decide to act. And most likely, we will have to make decisions under the pressure of circumstances or of the will of other people, under the pressure of competition and of struggle with the other people and with circumstances. And these concerns especially Gemini, the representatives of the signs Gemini, Virgo, Aries, Scorpios, Cancers, and Capricorns. Very difficult moment, What we have to do is just to control ourselves, our thoughts, our decisions, not to make important decisions, not to undertake something new, because we will regret later what we decided and what we did. So control ourselves to the maximum, our impulsiveness and our the conclusions and the decisions that we make. Now imagine that, as I said, Mercury is coming up to Mars, and on Tuesday 27, Mercury in Cancer will be in square to Jupiter and Libra, because Mars was forming already square to Jupiter 2 days ago, and also Mercury in Cancer will be in trine to Neptune in Pisces, as it was the case of Mars 2 days ago, because on Wednesday 28th, Mercury will be in conjunction with Mars. Imagine this constellation, this concentration of these energies. Two planets, Mars and Mercury, in conjunction in Cancer, and each planet on its turn forms tense aspects with opposition to Pluto, square to Jupiter. it doesn't happen every day. It's pretty rare as a transit situation. Yeah. So how this will affect, the middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, in how the set of this aspect will affect our emotional and energetical state. In sphere of personal relationships, we must take into account ambitions and self-esteem of other people, especially those who were born, the representatives of the signs of Libra and Sagittarius. Because actually conflicts are possible because of such negative emotions as I said, competition, jealousy, and envy. And it's also important to avoid conflicts on the topics, on the topics of ideology, religion, habits, traditions, etc. This is the theme of Jupiter. Fortunately, this trine, Mercury-Neptune, that was already formed, the trine with Neptune, that was formed by Mars 2 days ago, by Mars and Neptune, will allow to smooth the situation on condition of a softer, more merciful, and at the same time fair approach. If we don't ignore, if we don't miss the chance, of this aspect with the trine with Neptune, if we use it and if we behave in a nicer, softer way, we will be able to avoid the major conflicts. Otherwise, we will see the circumstances getting, worse, and the conflict also getting worse. Also, another thing is that people who are used normally to to struggle, and those who like to win, those who look forward, the struggles and those who have the winning attitude generally in their life, they can achieve unusually high results during these two aspects. Well, Friday, June 30th, Mercury in turn is the same way as Mars 2 days ago, will in Cancer. Mercury in Cancer will be in opposition to Pluto in Capricorn. Wow, this aspect doesn't only continues but also exacerbates conflicts, because any opposition is a confrontation. As we know, it's opposition, a confrontation of two opposite principles, principles symbolized by the planets involved in the aspect. But as in any situation of opposition, everything or nothing, black or white, we have the chance to move the situation, move the situation forward, its solution. So it never lasts, eternally, the opposition, the impact of opposition, because at the moment when we take the decision what strategy of behavior to choose, when you find this, solution in the middle, the opposition disappears, so the conflict doesn't exist anymore. That's why we absolutely have to avoid intentional aggressive attacks if we do not want to get involved into difficult situations and or in long trials, because if we insist on the confrontation, it leads to nothing. And this situation of confrontation and conflict concerns, first of all, those who are born in those whose solar sign are Gemini, Virgo, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Aries, Cancers, and Scorpios. These signs should be particularly correct and cautious while driving and while having very important negotiations and dialogues and conversations, because we talk about Mercury here, right? So if we try to make a resume like conclusion, if it covered the days from June 27th until June 30th, so from Tuesday to Friday, when we have the aspects of Mars square Jupiter, Mars opposition Pluto, Mercury square Jupiter, Mercury opposition Pluto, Mercury conjunction Jupiter, Mercury conjunction Mars. So these are days extremely unfavorable for all sorts of negotiations, for signing agreements and important treaties, important agreements and contracts, imposing one's position, on the other side of the opponent. When you force the other person to say what you want to hear, the inability to reach the compromise, these will be the problematic moments of the upcoming week. So if you want to avoid these situations, you just have to not to fix important appointments and not to negotiate during these days, because there will be the compromise will be difficult to reach. What else? What are the impact of the mentioned aspects? Wrong conclusions based on erroneous estimations, the risk of information leakage, the breach of privacy, self-confidence and lack of attention to detail may have consequences also on the results of the exchanges. At the same time, since we have these two trines, Mars in trine to Neptune and Mercury in trine to Neptune, these two aspects will give us the ability to see what is hidden, and also will offer us the capacity to tie or to link usefully, in a useful way, the rational and the irrational. Well, obviously, maybe this will require, some time to be able to sit down and to think calmly in a very calm environment. But these aspects, these two trines with Neptune, will offer us this opportunity, to see what is, the hidden processes, the hidden motivations of our opponents. So we absolutely have to use this chance given by these two aspects. So if you want to avoid, again, I repeat myself, if you want to avoid major conflicts, we have to obey the rule: fewer words, more work. To control ourselves, our impulsive behavior, actions, to avoid conclusions and making important decisions. Of course, since Mercury is involved in many difficult aspects this week, we have to be very careful while driving. And the last thing that I wanted to say, if we cover the entire week from June 26th until July, almost until the 5th or 6th of July, this entire week will have a very conflictual, aggressive background, full of emergency situations, dangerous situations. So what is important to do here is that the day of the exact difficult aspect, on the eve, the day before the exact aspect, and the day after the exact aspect, we have to avoid crowded and deserted places. And because there is a high risk of terrorist attacks, we have to pay attention, we have to be careful on the road while driving, or if we are a passenger, if we are not driving, but if we are in any using transport, and to avoid major trips and being on the road. So this is all for today. It was rather short, but I wanted just to present you the global analysis without too many details. I wish you an excellent week. Take care of yourself, and thank you for your attention. Talk to you very, very soon. Goodbye.